Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes as we get this Tuesday underway. And we've had a light onshore flow overnight, and that has brought in clouds. We also have a weather system coming in from the west, and that is bringing in clouds. You can see it here on the surface map this morning. You have this wrapped up low in northeastern Minnesota that is producing strong gusty winds up in parts of the northern plains and into the Midwest. Well, we also have a coastal low. This is the system that's left over from Sunday that's sitting out to the east. There's very little with this in terms of actual weather. So we're kind of stuck in the middle here, getting that easterly wind coming in right around the high that's to the north, and that is flowing in low-level moisture. Now, of course, we've got this cold front that's coming in from the west. And guess what? This system here is going to absorb that system over there. So there's no threat here of any kind of coastal low that we're going to have to deal with regards to today's weather. It's really all about the cold front that is moving eastward. And here it is on the visible satellite starting to approach sunrise here. You can see the swirl that's out in the ocean that's just sitting out there from the old low. And then, of course, you've got the big upper air feature that's moving into the western lakes, pulling up some Gulf moisture here. We're getting into some showers that are starting to show up on the radar. Here's a close-up view of everything that's happening this morning. So it's going to be about clouds today, some patchy light rain or drizzle until the front gets close enough, and then we'll see some showers getting triggered off, and that'll probably happen later on this afternoon and particularly this evening. We're seeing most of what's on the radar still moving. It's moving north-northeast with not a whole lot of easterly component here. So it's going to take every bit of at least 8 hours or so to get that rain into our neck of the woods, eastern Pennsylvania, southern New England. So figure it gets into eastern PA sometime during mid and late afternoon, and then gradually spreads across New Jersey, the Hudson Valley, Long Island, Connecticut this evening, and then pushes to the east. And of course, that eastern edge, the leading edge, also getting into south central and southeastern Pennsylvania around mid to late afternoon, and then eventually over into Maryland and northeastern Virginia, and then also sliding out to the east. So let's take a look at how some of these weather models are handling this today, starting with the NAM model. And this is what it sees is as the radar at 4 o'clock this afternoon. So it's actually even slower. Gets to the New Jersey state line at about 6 o'clock and into northeastern Virginia. The southern end of this is not really all that impressive, and then it lifts up to the northeast. And notice once you go south of Virginia, there's not a whole lot. SPC was looking at the potential for severe weather risk in parts of southeastern Virginia down into South Carolina today. You got to be careful when it comes to these weather fronts and generating severe weather, because oftentimes they miss what's going on in the small scale, and we may wind up with a radar that is a bit more robust than what's being indicated here. Then the front moves out. We have nice weather conditions coming for Wednesday and for Thursday. And then the big question for Friday is we're going to hold on for a little while. There's another front that is setting up here for Friday night into Saturday. And this is where we start to see models kind of go a different way. Whereas the GFS really brings up all this Gulf moisture up through the southeast, mid-Atlantic, and into the northeast for Friday night and Saturday, kind of slows the front down to almost a crawl during Saturday, making for what looks like a fairly substantial rainfall in some areas, and then it moves out. Well, guess what? The European model is completely different with regards to all of this. The European model, unfortunately, we're not able to show you what it looks like from the standpoint of the precip, and we only see it in 24-hour increments, but it has this front even weaker, and by Saturday evening, there's a high sitting in upstate New York, and this would suggest that there'll be very little with that front coming through late Friday afternoon into Friday night, and Saturday would be a partly to mostly sunny day, and actually it might stay dry into Sunday, before we perhaps start to see some showers approaching with another cold front later Sunday night and on Monday. So some issues with regards to the weekend. It has to do with the models, by the way, showing very different views of the jet stream. Just real fast, the European model basically has this very weak trough coming through Friday night and starts to build a ridge along the East Coast during the day on Saturday. The GFS, on the other hand, has a shortwave trough, and you can see it here, a totally different flow on the GFS, where you've got this shortwave trough in the east, and the European says no, the shortwave is much flatter, much weaker, moves out 24 hours sooner, and instead you've got this upper high, this ridge that is building up along the East Coast, setting us up for dry conditions on Saturday and probably dry conditions for most of Sunday. So I guess that's where the fun is going to lie for me in figuring out which way are we going here. I'm going to lean more to the optimistic side. That's kind of, I don't know, I'm just from what I'm seeing in terms of the overall pattern, that I'm going to lean a little more optimistic. So we'll see what happens later today if the models start to converge a little bit on what's going to be happening. So have a great day. Download the free weather app, the meteorologist Joe Cioffi weather app, and Angry Ben's weather app, the Angry Weatherman, is up as well for Android devices. My app is available for all mobile devices, be it Android or iPhone, and make sure you have the latest updated version, which will default to your location. You don't have to put it in anymore. There's also a new tab for Long Island. So, and by the way, the snow, even though we haven't needed to look at them yet, but I have also put on the homepage snowfall forecast maps that show you snowfall forecasts from all the way up from to Caribou, Maine, all the way down into western South Carolina and northern Georgia, just in case it ever winds up snowing that far south, and sometimes it does. So have a good day. Enjoy it. We'll have our regular YouTube live stream tonight at 7 o'clock, of course, and website posts up in between. There's already one up today, and you'll see some more later on today. Have a good one.